So you might be wondering, what on earth is this woman doing? This is just part of the daily ritual I have to do in order to try and repair the nerve that's been damaged by having Covid-19 that's now gone into long COVID. So they are essential oils. We've got rose, eucalyptus, clove and lemon, and apparently this can be really helpful for training your smells again when they've suffered from this nerve damage. There's also something else that we have to do, so I'm going to attempt to do that now with Alan. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
So I place one hand on my heart, one hand on the place where the olfactory nerve is, just above where the sinuses are, and then go.
And flick.
No. And then one hand on the heart and one hand on the tongue. One hand on the temple, one hand on the heart. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. And then finally, one hand on the heart and one hand up towards the olfactory nerve. So, just a little snippet of the weird and wonderful things that we need to do in this day and age of COVID. So, why go to the trouble of doing what we've just done? It actually hurts when you flick the back of the head, because if you get somebody to flick the back of the occipital bone right here in the middle of the back of the head while you're doing those certain things, then it's supposed to kind of regenerate the nerve into working again. So I've been doing it for 3 weeks. I've been sniffing the essential oils for 3 weeks in the hope that it might repair that nerve. Anyway, as the videos unfold, you'll get to the end and then you'll understand why. So, a very good morning to you all. The reason for these set of videos is unknown at the moment, actually. So yeah, just like people go out to explore landscapes of mountains and terrains and all those things across the world, as I study and teach mindfulness, I thought this would be a great opportunity to really study the landscape of the mind and thought processes and experiences. So I'm going to do these short set of videos, one for myself so I can reflect back after this time and see what came of it and how I am through it. And also there might even be at some point just one tiny little thing that may help people who struggle with mental health and don't usually maybe perhaps struggle with mental health, but because of this current situation, I think there's probably a lot more people suffering than ever before. In fact, if I looked at the stats, I'd probably see that point blank more people are suffering. So firstly, I've got to get over the fact that it's first thing in the morning. My face is a bit, well, whatever it is. Didn't sleep too well. I slept in a different bed last night. I'll tell you that in a minute. So I'm just going to be with things as they are, and currently in isolation because yesterday my other half, beautiful Alan, was diagnosed and tested positive for the coronavirus. He'd been very ill in the run-up to getting the positive test, so we kind of thought it was. And I think what's really difficult is that we've been living with this possibility and this new way of living since March, when we all had to take notice and really understand that this coronavirus was real. So our lives have changed massively, really, really massively. But actually it's just got a bit more deep. It's just got really real and really deep. And I had started watching a Black Mirror series a couple of years ago, which I thought was fascinating, really fascinating. But it was always just a little bit too dark for me. So I suffered with extreme depression and extreme anxiety. Probably about 10 years ago I was on heavy medication, visited mental health centres under a psychologist, psychiatrist, had psychotherapy, and found mindfulness based stress reduction, which helped hugely and still does. That's why I teach it. So I tend not to want to really look at dark stuff because it doesn't really bode well with me. However, just going back to the Black Mirror, this shit that we're living with feels like that, this kind of sci-fi weirdness. And I feel like I just need to really nurture myself and really take care of my own mental health at the moment. So yeah, this is day 2 of isolation, full isolation. I also went for a test last night. We go around the back of our little building. I went for a test last night because I had eaten my way through a bowl of jalapenos, and as you know, they're really, 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 really hot. And usually if I have a salad with jalapenos on, I might be able to manage 3 or 4, and I can really feel how hot they are. Well, we had a delivery last night, hummus, kebab and cheesy chips. It was lovely, and salad, and I got out my jar of jalapenos and put a dish out for us all to share. But I ate my way through the whole bowl and nobody else shared them, and it was only as I reached the end of the bowl of jalapenos that I realised I hadn't tasted any heat from the jalapenos. And of course one of the symptoms of coronavirus is lack of taste. I've been feeling a bit ropey, but I thought that's the worry about Al. So I took myself off for a test late last night, 8 o'clock. My lovely son took me, dropped me off to the walk-in centre. Incredibly amazing people, incredibly gracious and good humoured. And yeah, gagged a few times as I took the swab of the back of the throat, like couldn't handle it. The man stepped away because when Alan did his, he was sick in his hands, so I was like, ooh. So anyway, I'm waiting my test, and therefore slept separately last night, slept down in my little room at the bottom of the garden, because if I am negative, I could stay negative, and obviously if I then test positive, I'll then go back to our bedroom. So I slept fitfully, hence the tired look, and I did sleep some. I did have quite a lot of dreams, crazy dreams, but I did sleep. And when I woke up, I laid in bed with the rain coming down on the roof and thought, I could just stay here all day, let's just retreat. You know, I can't go out for a walk. I love going out to the beach for a walk. So I laid in bed and thought I could cheerfully just stay here. But I'm going to meditate. I'm going to meditate and see what happens when I've meditated, see how I feel then. So I knelt and I meditated, only for 20 minutes today. And I found it very difficult because I was really thinking, really overthinking, but kept coming back to a sense of the breath in the body, which really helped. And Then I ended the practice with a compassion practice and brought to mind somebody that makes me feel joyful and smiley, and that's my little cat Smokey, who's very cheeky and very naughty. And immediately I got this sense of joy, real joy, from imagining this cheeky little chappie, and went on to offer loving kindness to myself and to other people and to everybody, out to all of you guys, to the whole world, because we're all in this. And yes, it did shift my mood. It definitely shifted my mood, and I've got a Zoom group for work this morning. As you know, many of you know, I work for Mind in West Sussex. Beautiful, beautiful human beings that I work with that just give to so many people, incredible people, courageous people. And I thought, people need me on a Zoom group today. The parents that I support need me on a Zoom group today, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my makeup on. I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go for a walk around the garden. And as part of mindfulness, we practice mindful walking. I've been on some beautiful retreats in different parts of the country and never really realised how one day I would actually depend on mindful walking to help get through the day. Gosh, this is the territory, isn't it? Some joyful moments and some really tricky, realistic moments too. So yeah, it's tough, but I'm going to keep going with these explorations, and hopefully some good will come out of it for many of us. See you again soon. So right now I'm practicing as I teach, really resetting the moment. Got quite upset just then about, you know, this importance of living in the present moment. A little bit of self-pity. Not able to go away this weekend and see good friends and family, and yeah, feeling a bit sad. So just really honouring that sadness that came by, dropped by, full sadness. Felt in the body, felt in the mind, and then just resetting to come to both feet on the ground, and just the simplicity of the breath, breathing, and full awareness of the present moment. And continuing now with my walk to get a few more steps in before I sit down to the computer to work. So see you tomorrow. So good morning everybody, me, good morning me. And yeah, this is the second video diary I'm doing, a Covid Diaries. So I'm just about to go off and teach online in a minute. Teach mindfulness based stress reduction to beautiful people. And I've just received my Covid results, and my Covid results are positive. So given the fact I ate the bowl of chilies and couldn't taste it, was an indicator a couple of days ago, I'm feeling quite chesty. When I woke up this morning, I was feeling a bit chesty and a bit coughy. So yeah, the signs were there, but it's really weird because until you actually find out, you don't know. So it's been really interesting to notice how 1 minute you wonder, are you coming down with it? Because my other half Alan's got it, obviously, so people are asking if I got it, and you can believe that you have, but when you don't know, it's like, well, it doesn't affect me at the minute. So yeah, it's inevitable. I was going to get it. He's quite poorly with it, and now obviously it's the knock-on effect, which really does bother me. If anything's going to affect me, I think it's the effect of this on other people. I'm a highly sensitive person, an HSP, shock or no shock, and I care deeply for other people. So yeah, feeling responsible for the people I've been in contact with, and I understand now how Al felt when he found out. Anyway, since we've known, we've done nothing but the right thing, completely isolated. I'm also feeling the strain for my young lad, 18 years old, and he's like a sitting duck really in a house with two parents with it. And I just hope, my greatest hope is that we come out of it safely, the three of us. So that's it probably for today. I'm gonna really embrace the fact that I can have the ability to notice the present moment, the sounds, the sense of wind on my face, the feet on the floor as I walk the garden. It's not a bad garden to walk around, let's face it. So yeah, more exploring the mental landscape of this really awful virus that's taken the world by a complete grip, and be working skillfully with it until I do another video blog. So over and out for now. So 10 days of isolation to go. Day two of coronavirus for me, as I know, as I found out. And so I woke up this morning and thought, am I still feeling well? And just really checking in on my mood all the time as well, because I've got this fear that would one day become depressed again like I was, and so I just have a quick check-in and just see how I'm feeling, and not feeling too bad at all really. A bit more chesty I think today, and a bit of a runny nose and watery eyes, but really not bad at all, so that's good, that's really good. And I said to my son yesterday that this is as bad as it's going to get, I suppose, in some ways, that we are in isolation in the winter. The sun's shining beautifully now, but it's been absolutely peeing it down all day. All rainy and grey and torrential rain actually. And also there's something about waiting to catch it. So knowing that the virus is around and they expect that many of us will get it. So you're waiting for that, waiting to think, is it your time? And now we've got it, it's like, okay, we've got it. This is what the wait has been about. And for Alan, I suppose it's been bad because he's so poorly with it. Although he's definitely getting better, definitely in himself. And yeah, so it's here, it's upon us. Still really feeling for the teenagers. You know, my son, who should be doing a million exciting things with his teenage years. If you think what I was doing and anybody I know was doing in the teens, these teenagers are just not able to travel the world like we did, interact and make those connections like we did. And I just really feel for them, But we have been extremely lucky in the fact that we've got some amazing friends and family members. So today we've had one friend dropped off some shopping and a bit of cheeky booze for me. Beautiful. Yesterday a friend dropped some sandwiches I'd ordered from the cafe off for us. My sister's been shopping with us. And then today a beautiful friend across the road who has had troubles herself, and she went shopping and said, was there anything I needed? I'd forgot to put some butter on the list. So she brought butter, and she also bought 2 massive bars of chocolate. Beautiful, just so kind and generous. And then another friend, we were desperate for McDonald's takeaway. Really naughty but nice at the minute. And he said, if you need anything, just let me know. So my other half phoned him up, just on the off chance, and said, you're not going to Bognor today, are you? And he was like, yeah, I'm on my way there now. What are the chances? And so he went to McDonald's and he bought us a drive-through and dropped it off on the doorstep for us. I mean, seriously, and the words of love and warmth coming through from mates and people through Facebook and all of that really, really warms your heart up, and together we will get through this. We're just awaiting more news on another lockdown, potential lockdown for the UK. We'll find that out today. It's Saturday today, Saturday the 31st. Happy Halloween. We're not going to put any decorations up this year. We can just shout, we've got COVID, from the front door, and that will scare everybody away. So yeah, keeping pretty cheerful. Had a beautiful night last night. Took a few beers down to Al's room and played some tunes on our DJ setup. Had a little dance and some Doritos. Couldn't taste the Doritos, funnily enough, with the taste thing that's going on through COVID. But I could taste the beers, so that's something. So yeah, just taking each day as it comes. Feet on the floor and noticing this sun, this warm sun, and the wind in this moment. Bye for now. So it's Sunday morning, Sunday the 1st of November, and I'm very sleepy. I've woken up feeling probably a little bit worse than I have the other morning. So I woke up with pains in my legs and joints around about 6-7 a.m. this morning, and yeah, just like a blocked head. So just a few symptoms of this virus that's going around. Coronavirus, you might know it. That. So we were informed last night by the government that we're going into a lockdown from Thursday, and yeah, trying to support my son through that, who's already been in isolation for about a week, just coming up to a week, as have I and other my other half Alan as well, of course. So coming from complete isolation into a lockdown. So yesterday I said it probably couldn't get much worse. We're in it deep. Well, this is now going to get deeper because we're going back into that month-long lockdown. So it's tough. It's really, really tough. It's a time to find very small, simple things and find some peace, some joy, some stability. Just even the bare minimum of each of those things, even a tiny, tiny bit of joy, tiny bit of stability, tiny bit of ease and calm. So I'm going to do a nice practice, a breathing, stabilising the body, and a nice coming into the breath and the body practice. And I might just do a little bit more after the practice. There we go, 30 minutes later. And it's strengthening. If I could just word it in a couple of words, I'd say strengthening. That's better. The further away the better. Strengthening. Definitely nourishing. And a new word, alivening. Somebody else would agree as well. For the morning meditation. So, physically things haven't changed. I'm really aware of a blocked head, blocked ear, nasally, sinusy things. But a sense of bringing my feet in contact with the ground and really sensing into that contact. And this chance to sit still in stillness, awareness, and return to the breath every time you notice your mind has wandered into overthinking, as it's doing. It's bound to do at the time, this time that we're going through. Noticing this, and then coming back, to this relief almost. The relief of coming back to the simplicity of the body in contact and the breath. Good on you, John Kabat-zinn. Good on you, matey. Just amazing that you brought this to the West from the East. And long may we practice mindfulness. So this is Monday morning. God, Monday morning. And yeah, I feel like I've probably got symptoms, like proper symptoms of COVID. I'm better than a lot. I've decided to come to my bed down the bottom, my beautiful room at the bottom, just to get comfy and warm. So I'm not bedridden, just enjoying the comfort of bed. Listening to my body's joints are achy, shivery, chilliness, and woke up with sinus pain, no taste at all, headachy, ear achy. So yeah, it's quite funny that at the weekend I said, so come on, if this is as bad as it's going to get, and each day it's got a tiny bit worse. But I did a practice online with my lovely supervisor Gwenny Fraser this morning, who's an absolute beautiful person, and we stayed on for a chat after, and just, you know, she just said to embrace being gentle and kind. So I think the kindest thing to do today is to take lots of vitamins, lots of vitamin D and C, wrap up warm, stay comfortable, and I think what's really important is just noticing the good things. So because I was so positive in the beginning, I thought I was bouncing along like a bouncy balloon, thinking, oh, this is COVID, this is fine, this is fine. And then just as you get a little bit worse, your resilience is a bit lower. Your mood drops as well, and so you can start to ruminate and overthink more than you would normally. So just to be reminded of moment to moment, present moment awareness, and also really appreciating lovely things like if I show you this. So outside of the window there's a beautiful big sky, beautiful trees in the wind, and up there in the skylight I've got this little chap. If you can see him, hopefully you can. Where is he? Yeah, little Smokey. And so I'm comfy, I'm warm, and yeah, we'll get through this. We will get through this. And we've just got to take care of ourselves, take care of each other, and just find small moments of peace and pleasure if we can. So, very good morning. Here we are in Elmer Sands. The virus is definitely doing its thing now. So really, when you get that real chill, that deep chill to your bones, where you just, no matter how many blankets you put on, you're just freezing cold, and painful, prickly skin and painful, sharp, painful joints. It's horrible, really horrible, and very delirious dreams. Dreamt that my mate, who's in isolation, also was painting her house crazy colours and all sorts of stuff going on. So yeah, just proper fluey, proper fluey. But so here's the thing. Many years ago, I woke up with that delirium and approaching a lockdown, and Alan's taken a turn for the worst again. Ryan has been tested negative, but we're waiting to see if any symptoms show, because there's a likelihood he probably has got it because he lives in the house with us. So with all of that, and my mum's just awaiting some results, it could be quite serious results, life-changing results. It's kind of okay, I'm kind of okay, because what I don't allow myself to do naturally anymore is attach all the catastrophizing thoughts to what's going on. So, you know, this is really bad, it's horrible, there's no denying it's horrible. Physically horrible, and it's tough because we're going to go through a period of more constraints. I've been in isolation for a week, so it's a really tough time. But if you can notice the pull of all that negativity and how it could whip you into this negative frenzy, and then just come back to what's practical, what's here, what do I need to do? Well, a cup of tea, top of the list. I'm going to make not just a small cup of tea, but a massive cup of tea to take back to bed and rest and read. I've got some reading to do for university. I keep my eye on Ryan and Alan and make sure that they're all right. When you get a burst of energy, you can make the most of that and go and make some good food, which I'm going to do today. Barley, lentils, chicken. You know, I've not eaten meat for such a long time, and I just feel my body needs that. Protein, perhaps? I don't know. Anyway, that's not my bag. Nutrition. So, yeah, really feeling into what is needed at this time. What is best? Being totally honest about it. And, yeah, not sugarcoating a shit, I think is the right thing to say. You know, you can't sugarcoat a shit. So looking at this situation as it is, and then also just noticing, looking out the windows here, that it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. I mean, really beautifully bright. So we haven't got those dark, pendulous clouds today, and it's very windy, so the seagulls are all whipping up in this sky of wind. The trees are all rustling, and I do a practice and this kind of imagery thing with my supervisor from Bangor, where, you know, I imagine that I'm a tree and I'm rooted, really rooted in strong roots, this strong trunk of a tree, and it's all bristling around, you know, it's all crazy up at the top, but you've still got this real connection to the earth, and being really grateful today for nature. I've got no taste whatsoever, no smell. So the sense I really have still got is my vision. Thank God. So really, you know, really enjoying vision, really enjoying the expanse of the sky and colours and shades and stuff like that. Unfortunately, vision also means I can see my plumpy face, which I'm not happy with. I get some highlights when I come out of this and everything settles down a bit. Get a few quid, I'll treat myself to some highlights, and yeah, just taking it day by day. That's all you can do, moment by moment. Over and out for today. So 6 days of isolation to go, and I'm a week into the virus. Been feeling really ill, really chilled to the bone and all that business, all the symptoms. But I think last night I got really down about it because, like, the taste of food is everything for me. It's my joy. I get dead excited about cooking stuff and eating and tasting stuff. And not to have any taste at all, I found was really difficult. It made me a bit ratty, and I had a really rough night's sleep, really painful and fevery. And then when I laid in bed this morning, I realised I've been resisting it. Like, I don't want it and I don't like it. And in that resistance was causing me real upset. And so I realised that you just got to give into it. Like, stop trying to make things different from how they are, which is a true principle of what I teach and practice with mindfulness. The harder we grip and resist and not want it, actually the harder it is, the more suffering you do. So imagine being like in a storm on a boat. You've got to let go of the oars and just let the boat bob about. And that's kind of what I'm having to do with this now. Stop fighting it. It will pass, it will get better. And I think the other thing, now this is deep, this is really deep, is that, like, usually you can think, well, once I start to get better, then everything will be okay. And because we're going straight into a lockdown from tomorrow, like, even when I come out of this isolation, even when I get better from this flu, then we're still, like, living with these constraints. So it's really tough, really tough. And I spoke to my lovely Gwenny supervisor today, and it's about going back to the simplicities, like just holding the breath simply and coming to the body simply. I've just seen a beautiful seagull in this beautiful day, beautiful clear blue sunny sky. And maybe for now it is just simply, just relishing these simple things. Sometimes easier said than done, innit? Getting better is a priority, obviously. Getting rid of this. Where's the... Oh, it's up there. The seagull. Taking each day as it comes, not looking too far ahead. Just now. Just this moment. So it's Thursday today. 5 days of isolation left. Not really feeling any worse today. I think it's stabilised it just the way it is now for the last couple of days. So that's good, because then it means that I'm creeping through it and we'll come out on the other side. Absolutely no taste, no smell, and just noticing how flat that makes everything kind of feel. No HD, no like quality. So it's all about textures. When I eat something, it's about really tasting the different textures, because there's nothing from the flavour whatsoever at all, and no smell to go with it, so you can't savour anything. So I suppose it's a little bit of like just going with what you think the body's asking for, what the body needs, rather than what you really fancy. So that's very, very strange. I've been told those symptoms last quite a long time, like up to a month. So who knows, maybe there'll be an upside. Maybe I'll lose that weight I wanted to lose. We'll see. No pressure. So another beautiful, glorious, sunny day, for which I'm really grateful for. Just sitting out here and watching the seagulls, listening to the seagulls. Beautiful sunny day. Simone's gone out this morning, so I think they're contemplating having a mooch in the garden for that. We've got a little predator underneath the bush over there, I don't know if you can see him, a little smoky. So I think they're a bit cleverer than we think, and they know he's there, so they may not come and feast in the garden at the minute. So I think I turned a real corner mentally yesterday. I was feeling disconnected. I get like this homesick feeling, like disconnected from the body and reality, and like now, disconnected from now. And that's why mindfulness practice is really good, to bring you back to now and just letting go of the wish for things to be different from how they are, which is the real root of mindfulness practice. It's like wanting things to be a certain way and it's not, and that's what causes the agitation, the rattiness, the upset, the suffering. Or actually, if you just think, this is it, just some acceptance, but with a real lean towards kindliness and friendliness and loveliness. So just allowing myself to lie here in the sun today, just resting my body, because we've not got much energy to do anything else, and sitting here, the vitamin D of the sun just beating down on me, and really breathing in the goodness from the sun and the fresh air, and really appreciating that like a warm blanket. So it's really lovely, it's a real joy actually, and that's really helping me mentally. Just to let go of the fight of things how I wish they were, and not denying it. So really aware that Alan's gone out today to do a bit of shopping and sort out some work stuff, and knowing that all that's going on, all that normal life, normalish life to a certain extent is going on, but then just coming back here, back home, to connecting myself with the present moment and the floor, the ground, the sun on the skin, really helping me to not feel that homesick feeling, and soothing myself and my soul in this situation. So it's now Friday the 6th of November, and definitely feeling more like myself in myself. So yeah, definitely feeling more like myself yesterday and today, but I've had a slump in my mental well-being, and this was all down to feeling a little bit overwhelmed with having no sense of taste yesterday at all. And I just sat down to eat dinner. I didn't have a clue what it tasted like, and I said to Al, what's it taste of then? Is it tomato? Is it gravy-ish? And it just like really disturbed me. It really set off some panic in regards to not liking what was going on. not wanting what was going on, and will I always be like this? Will I always feel like this? And on top of this, we've got coronavirus. And when's the coronavirus going to end? And will we ever get freedom again? And will we be able to go on holiday again? And will Ryan get his life back? And will we get our lives back? And it just started off this whirlwind of negative activity, real negative, catastrophizing thoughts. There's two things. One is that it could well likely be because I'm still run down with the virus. I've still got symptoms. You know, my head feels like it's stuffed up with cotton wool. Feeling, you know, way better. I've not got the flu-y feelings in my bones or the chills like I had. But definitely still not right. Definitely still not right. And yeah, it just made me wobble, really, really wobble. I was really concerned about my mental well-being. And I spoke to my lovely supervisor from Bangor, Gwenny, who reminded me to be really kind at this time of wobbleness, that I'm vulnerable, I'm running on low energy and all that goes with that, and just to be really kind and to come back to what's really here. Everything else is just catastrophizing thoughts, so just come back to what I do know. And what's also helpful for me is noticing that there's a lot of stuff about me that's really good. So no pain in the body, my feet, my legs, hands, arms, everything's working as it should be. So yeah, just more kindness and more patience. Patience. Good morning. This is Saturday morning, and it's too beautiful not to get involved with. Really beautiful sunny day. Birds are tweeting, flying, and got 4 days left of being isolated in the house. When I woke up this morning, I didn't think that I felt any better. Got real bunged up head, really bunged up head. It's like I've got socks up my nose still. But I think I do feel like I've shifted in my head, shifted with my thoughts a little bit. Less frightened, so therefore less thinking going on, and also just noticing when you do start to overthink and your thoughts start to go awry, and how easy it is to go down that path. So just coming back to the body and the practicality of the moment. And I think it's really highlighted for me that I always do look for silver linings and like really positive outcomes, and I get quite caught up in that, in wanting that, in needing that, in life in general. So always having something to look forward to, which is good. It's good to have something positive and a positive outlook, but I think it's also really important when the chips are down to dig into whatever it is, and sometimes there's not a lot to dig into. So just to, really reiterate that something that Gwenny said to me yesterday when I was wobbling about being kind to yourself as you're wobbling. Be really kind to yourself and just know that this will pass. It's hard sometimes when you're going through it to imagine it will pass, but it will pass. So I'm going on a retreat today from 10 till 5 in my room. I wasn't going to do it. I was just going to, I suppose, hang about. Hang about in the garden or in the house. But I've decided that, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good opportunity to see what's going on and to be led and taught by two cracking teachers, Christina Fellman and Chris Cullen, wise people, and see where that takes me, see how the retreat lands with me, and have a day, however the day is. So it's still Saturday, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do, just to really express that actually the last 2 days have been probably two of the hardest days of my life since I had depression all those years ago. Disorientated, irrational, scary, really, really scary. Like a cold steel feeling, emptiness. Really, really tough. Really, really tough. Like going from the isolation with the virus and all the symptoms which make you feel like shit, really make you feel like shit, to the mental side of it, the mental torture, the overthinking and the adding insult to injury. So feeling trapped anyway, and then going into lockdown and feeling more trapped. Having illness myself, illness in my other half. And my son's amazing. He's amazing. He's really strong and good. He took himself off to the beach yesterday and got in the water just for half an hour, didn't speak to anybody. Just did what he felt he really needed to do to protect his mental health. And so I'd got the first lines along a panic attack on Thursday, and I was supposed to be teaching yesterday and just knew I wasn't up to it. But I think there's something going on with the symptoms in regards to confusion as well. So you doubt yourself. So you're feeling disorientated because you haven't got all your senses. You're feeling low because of your immune system. You're feeling confused. And normally I've got the ability to kind of reboot and fight a little bit, but the last 2 days has been really scary. Really scary. So when we go about life and we make decisions, we really need to consider as human beings the impact, the horrific impact. I'm one of millions of people who are suffering at the minute, and it's a deep, deep, dark suffering. And I have some strategies, I have some incredible people I can call upon. There are a lot of people who don't have strategies, who don't have people they can call upon, who don't have family and friends to share it with. And we all must really take account for what we do, for the part we play in life. Let's really start to cultivate and nurture kindness towards other people, kindness to ourselves and kindness to humans. We can't live in a world peacefully when we're not really looking out for other people. tricky, isn't it? Because had care and attention been given to mankind, we wouldn't be going through the pandemic anyway. And that's big. That's big. We've got to be kind. We've got to care for people. We've got to cultivate the right way to live. So Sunday afternoon, definitely feeling better. Not like better 100%, but better than yesterday and the day before and all of those days. So that's really good, definitely improving. Still no taste, still no smell, still feel like I'm stuffed up with socks or cotton wool. I'm definitely about 50% better now. Here's somebody who's not been very well. How are you feeling?
I'm bored. Just told you I'm bored of feeling not 100%.
Yeah. And you're a week ahead of me, aren't you?
I'm bored of being locked down and not earning any money.
Yeah. So it's a bit shit, isn't it? Hey. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Be positive, bro.
No, this is an honest video, Al. This
Honest
isn't
video.
bullshit. This isn't, oh, let's just pretend. This is honesty.
I'm watching telly. Can you turn the computer? Can you turn that off?
So, what has changed, which I'm really pleased about, is that after doing a long day of retreat practice yesterday, the teachers were saying about cultivating. So cultivate, what do you cultivate when you meditate? And up until this point I've been cultivating mindfulness, so present moment awareness, over and over and over and over and over. And I thought about how joyless sometimes I feel, and certainly, oh yeah, and certainly with no sense of taste or smell, it's been freaking me out quite a lot. I've been really struggling with that. Like everything's been stripped away, freedom's been stripped away. I read a passage in a book today about isolation, and I'm a highly sensitive person, and isolation for anybody, let alone highly sensitive, can feel like torture, and that's why it's used as torture. So dealing with that, isolated from friends and family, has been very difficult. Only hold up with this one. So I'm not in full isolation, but isolated enough to feel the effects of that. But also, really enjoying taste of food. Last time we were locked down, we were enjoying food and drink. We were having many drinks outside in the sunshine. So we had vitamin D, warm weather, and lovely taste of food and drink. And there's none of that. Anyway, so the turnaround for me was, I'm going to start to cultivate joyfulness. You've got mindfulness, which is cultivating present moment awareness, and then joyfulness, the other part of it, is going to be cultivating feelings of loveliness, kindness, joyfulness, better self-esteem. So that's made me feel better mentally today, although from a physical perspective I'm still not obviously firing on all cylinders, but I will. So that's it for now. See you soon. So this corridor is a corridor at the Abbotsford the Abbotsford Hilton Hotel, and I've been down here for many beautiful weddings and parties, and I'm just here at the moment because I came in to get my veins checked for donating blood plasma. So the whole of the beautiful ballroom is stripped out completely, and it's got all blood taking machines and wires and clinical. It's like a hospital in there, in that beautiful room where Phil and Richard got married, I think. Oh my goodness me, it's the 23rd of January. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, my veins aren't suitable for taking blood, so I've got away without having to sit there for 45 minutes and have my blood drained, and I'm not going to lie, I'm actually really relieved about that. Means I can go ahead and get my vaccine for Covid now for work. And it means, unfortunately, I feel a little bit gutted that I can't save a life. But I'm actually really relieved. There's enough crap going on at the minute without sitting there having my blood drained, So hi, and a very warm welcome back to the Covid-19 Diaries. So I've waited all this time, and it's now March the 9th, 2021. All of the videos you've just watched have been from, obviously, 2020. And I've been waiting for a moment to celebrate, to say I'm completely back to normal after having Covid. And can you believe, all these months later, I'm still not okay from having had Covid. I've got symptoms of long COVID. So all of that palaver you saw at the beginning, all of the effort I was making to get over it, it went from having no smell and no taste, as you would have heard a lot through the Covid videos. It turned really bad about 3 weeks ago, where now it's called parosmia. So not only do I have no taste or no smell, most of the time it's really distorted as well. So I'm on a support group on Facebook with over 12,000 people that are all experiencing the same. You can't even describe it, but there are certain things that I cannot tolerate being near anymore. Coffee, cat food, face cream, body cream, washing up liquid, roast potatoes, roast chicken, gravy. Oh, the list just goes on. So this is partly to do, well, it's all to do with the fact that the nerve here, the olfactory nerve, has been damaged by COVID-19 flu disease, whatever it is. And it's been really miserable, but I am coming to terms with it. I am learning to live with it, because this could go on for a very, very long time. So it is going to be continued, because when I do get my taste and smell back, and I do get rid of this horrible, pungent, alien, horrible, putrid smell or taste, there's going to be a final ending to the Covid Diaries. But at the minute, I've got to say, I'm not 100%, doing the best that I can. And for me, you know, I've started doing these podcasts, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but my mindfulness practice has honestly held my shit together, helped me to keep my shit together over these last months. Massive turning point for me was not wanting this horrible smell, taste, sensation thing, not liking it, hating it, to a place where I can accept it's happening and it might be with me for quite some time. And can I just make peace and allow it to be in the same space? So yeah, it's a long old slog, but doing as best as I can. So to be continued. Bye for now.